Hello, welcome. We're going to continue now. You remember we created the package.json by simply running the command npm init, and we're also able to create the git ignore so that we don't push the node models to the remote repo. So now let's create the server.js file, the entry point that will make you remember. If you click on the package.json, you see that our main entry point is server.js. So we're going to create this file. So to create it, very simple. Click here on the, you can see this back end, because we want this file to be inside the back end. You remember we finished off everything in the front end, which we are using Angular for. So you click here on this back end, then you click on this, you can see new file, because we want to create a new file inside back end. And this new file, we're going to call it Server.js. So that is the name of this new file. So once I finish writing it, make sure you take note of the .js. That's how you save JavaScript files. So I press the enter key. So you can see now that my server.js is open, and this is where it is. So we're going to write a simple script that creates a server, after which we'll now install Express and show us the easier way to do the same thing. So this simple script is what we can do with Node.js. Create HTTP a server that can be seen when we check our port number 3000. So this is something we're going to be doing it with Express, and it will be much easier. So let's do this. So how do we do this? We first bring in HTTP. So how do we do it? We can use const. Remember what we are using now. If we use this, there's another way of doing this using the standard way, using import. If you want to use import command, it's a better way to this, more modern than using const. But we're going to be doing const for now. I will also teach you how to use import instead of const. That makes it better. So I'm going to say const http require. That is how you bring in http. Const http require. So can use single quotes and bring in http. So that is the first thing we do. So I'm going to close this off with semicolon. So once I do that, I can also now do const. Since I brought in my http, I can now do const server equal to http dot create server. So I want to create a server, and that is simply how you do that. Please watch the way I wrote this. Const server equals to http. So I'm declaring a variable server to be equal to http dot create server. That is the method that we're going to be using. So I'm going to open up a bracket and also open up another one, and it's going to take in the following parameters: a request and a what response parameter. So after which this is going to be a callback, and so what's this callback going to do? It's going to send the response.end. And what message is it going to carry? So it's going to carry, this is my server response. So that is the message you want it to carry. This is my server response. So that's what you want to carry. That's the message that I want to be shown. Remember, I'm getting this from the Open Classroom exercise that we already have. So I'm going to close this up here with a semicolon, and I'm going to do the same here. So this, our server is going to listen to at one port. So in order to tell it the port to listen to, we're going to say server.listen. So the server does listen. Where is it going to be listening? So you either give a specific port where you want it to listen, or you can give a specific port as well as tell it to use the environment port in case when this is hosted. So if it is hosted, it's going to use this environment port, which we are going to say process.env port. So this is a simple instruction that tells it to use if no port is the very port 3000 is not there. I should simply use this port. So that is what we are going to be having there. So it's either it's using the environment port or it's using port 3000. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to close this all off with a semicolon. And this is the code snippet that's going to be on our Server.js. So this is simple HTTP, making a simple HTTP request. Once this HTTP request is made, it wants to return this message. This is my first server, and for us to see this, we need to see it at port 3000, localhost 3000. That is where we're going to be listening to see this port. So I'm going to simply say Ctrl S to save. I'm using a whole lot of plugins to make my work look much better. So in case if you don't have them, I installed Prettier and several other plugin extensions that make my code to look much better. So once I was done typing this code, I simply said Ctrl S. So Ctrl S is going to help me save the work so that we can try it out. So this is your Server.js, very important. We need to create it in order for us to keep working. So we can actually run this code. So I can cd to my back end. You can see it is still in the directory devc prog. So if I do cd to back end, okay, so I'm now in backend. So I can simply run this very JavaScript code written in Node.js by simply saying node server. So once you say node space the name of the file, this is server.js, so I can simply say server. So once you say that, it's going to run this very code. So that is how you run a JavaScript file in Node.js. Simply say node space the name of that JavaScript file. So it mustn't be HTTP. This I'm doing HTTP because we are developing a web application. But if you write the normal simple JavaScript that we've been writing before, once you save it with .js, if you want to run it very simple, just say node space the name that you used in saving it. This is server. So with that, this is going to run, and we'll be able to see the output at this very port 3000. So localhost 3000 should be able to show us the output of this code. So in subsequent classes, we'll be looking at installing NodeMon. NodeMon is a package that will help us to always get our server up as quick as possible without having to always start and stop the server. So that's what we're going to be doing in the subsequent class. But I hope you understood this the way I explained it. So we brought in HTTP by using this require method. Then we created a variable, constant variable known as server, so that we can use it to create a server. And this takes in this parameter request and response, and it's ending with this message: this is my server response. And this server is going to be listening at port 3000, and if it is hosted, it should just find the environmental port that is provided by the environment in which it is hosted. So that is the basics of this, and in subsequent classes